Yeah, I would understand stigma to be a marking of somebody, something that isn't culturally acceptable, but that person is marked by that. So when it comes to mental health in our profession, I would have learned, along with my apprenticeship and all the great things I learned, that this would be something that would mark you if you said that you were struggling, or you were seen crying in work, or you were finding the workload difficult, or you had personal problems.
I believe that mental health and physical health are equal, that they're the same thing. You'll go to your doctor if you have a pain, the doctor will give you a tablet. But because you're labelled or possibly labelled as having some mental health problem, you won't go and get treatment because you could be labelled, or your job might be in jeopardy.
Often there's kind of this expectation that everyone should be super resilient and everyone can do the long hours, do the late nights. And if you can't do that, whether it's because of mental illness or because of something else, there's a stigma that you're not good enough or you're not made of enough. I think mental health isn't discussed much in the legal profession. I think in recent years you've seen people talk a lot about resilience and well-being, and people are kind of talking around the idea of mental health, but they're not talking about mental health itself. It's almost seen like a little bit taboo, a little bit scary, and I think employers are afraid to kind of bring it up in the workplace.
Mental health in any profession should be discussed openly. I think that since the Law Society has taken an active part in the well-being of its members, it's probably talked about a little bit more.
I have actually, since coming to the law school and starting to engage with the Law Society, because the first thing that happens as a new trainee walking into Blackhall these days is you're given an iPad and some textbooks and about 20 different resources for different ways to deal with mental health challenges. So there's been everything from the counselling sessions that are available to trainees. There's also the Professional Wellbeing Hub, and then there's Legal Mind. There's just a range of resources like that available to the profession, which has been really good and I think is a great start.
I think just there's an openness, there's more of an openness these days. And the firms are realising that it's not just about having lawyers and people to type up what lawyers say. There's so much more to running a business. I suppose you become so, just in my experience of it, you become so introspective, and it's difficult to go and ask for help because you think it's a weakness. It's different if you've broken your ankle. It's an acceptable thing to break your ankle. It's much more difficult to say, I just can't get out of bed in the morning these days. People have to really have courage to be able to do that. But I think once they do, actually, 99% of the time they realise that, everybody has feelings like this.
I think when it comes to mental health in the legal profession, we have to remember that there are two sources of potential challenge to having good mental health. One is the subject matter of the work that we do, but also then in the structure of how the profession works, it's hierarchical. So it requires that certain people are dominant over others. It's collaborative. The idea of collaboration is very new in the legal profession. So also I think people are working in partnership structures that are hierarchical, and that isn't good for us as human beings.
To put an end to stigma is a long journey, I'll say, but we can start. Let's all start collectively now. First of all, let's be open and honest about our experiences. Let's not judge and shame each other unnecessarily. Let's be very open to just active listening, and active listening is listening without preconceptions, prejudgments, and let's be prepared to let go of the ideas or the experiences that just don't serve us. Some things are being asked to be left behind because we're trying to pave better ways of thinking and being in the profession.
If you recognize you have a problem, get help. Don't try and sort it out on the pillow. You will never sort it out on the pillow. And you will stay awake all night worrying about something that you can do absolutely nothing about. Whereas if you get help, the help will help you.
I think if we normalise the maintenance of good mental health, we will have to deal much less with the crisis of mental health breakdown.
I think everyone should be involved in ending stigma around mental health in the legal profession. I think it's the responsibility of certainly employers and law firms and the Law Society to try remove that stigma throughout the profession. But I think we all have the opportunity throughout our daily lives to remove that stigma ourselves and to transform the profession.
The management of the firm has to put in place a program, has to have a discussion about it first of all, and say we need to change where we've come from. We need to put in place a program and explain to everyone in the firm that we're all in this together, that if somebody is feeling bad or sad, that there is no shame in saying so, and that everybody will get together and will help everybody else. It's all a matter of support,